State of Origin, number 2. Mate.
Nail biter. And I don't have many nails.
Yeah, mate. Next two of us, mate. 26-24, Queensland get the chocolates over the Blues. Jez, what did you think of the game? What stood out to you the most in that? And what kind of what did you take from that game? Like from the
there was a few things. Definitely first half we were New South Wales, that is, we were very ill disciplined. I know there was a lot of things talking about the ref. I think it was an 8-0 penalty count at halftime.
Yeah.
But to be honest, from a fan's perspective, I wasn't angry at him. Like, looking at the game, we had a shocker of a first half. Our errors, penalties, like it was our own doing that caused that.
Yeah.
Second half, though, I don't know what happened in the sheds at second half. It's pretty much typical of the Bulldogs, right? Crap first half, come out second half, guns blazing.
Yeah.
Second half was, I'd say, almost flawless, apart from our goal kicking. I think we would have won 30-26 if we had kicked all of them.
Yeah, it would have been 30-26.
So I'm a few questions around the goal kicking there, but other than that, I think first half, Queensland definitely outplayed us. But the second half, things lined up. We were a lot more disciplined in our defense, in our attack, and the points came along with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Everyone's been talking about the 8-0 penalty count, like you said, and when you look at it, a lot of the time, automatically when you don't really watch the game or you get a perception of 8-0 penalty count, everyone freaks out.
Yeah.
I know that the game of rugby league isn't meant to be all about the penalty count. Sometimes it's just a matter of what happens in that game. I thought New South Wales, like you said, were very disciplined. I agree with that. Lomax's elbow to the head, and then the eye gouge from Luai. Yeah. Little things like that you can't really blow up at the ref for.
Stupid things.
Yeah. Very, very dumb, very ill-disciplined. Yeah. And Queensland just rode with it. Like, we were exhausted in defence because we defended pretty much the whole first half. Then we had that unlucky obstruction call go against us with Utoi Kamanu in the first half. So that was a bit of a bum as well because we had finally got into their try line, finally got in a bit of momentum where we hadn't dropped the ball, and then that try got disallowed, and we just dropped our heads there. But like you said, second half, I think calls started to go away in the second half. I do believe Queensland did get a few 50-50 in the first half, but still, we're still ill-disciplined, a couple of high tackles. You can't do that. Yeah. And I really thought our forward pack was really poor. Payne Haas carried us.
Yeah.
The reality is Payne Haas did well. He's 132 meters, 34 tackles, 16 runs. But then the members that were in the side that didn't really step up, Max King, 8 runs, 57 meters. Yeah, didn't get as much game time as he did the first game.
I don't think he played at all the second half, did he? He started.
Yeah,
he started a lot of the first half, but then I don't remember seeing him until very late in the second half.
Yeah, I don't think he got as much game time as he did the previous game. But then Utoi Kamanu came back into the Origin fold and he didn't really do much either. But similar stats, 8 runs, 60 meters. So we definitely missed Barnett. Yeah. That was definitely a big miss there. And then we talk about the goal kicking. The Blues have the luxury of having about 4 or 5 goal kickers in their side.
Yeah, we do.
We have Lomax, we have Cleary, we have Latrell, Critter.
Yeah.
So that's 4.
Yeah.
And I am of the view that if you're an Origin and if you've taken 2 kicks and you've missed 2, pass it on.
Yeah.
It's not like we only had 1 kicker. So, and I know that Cleary did something to his groin on captain's run, which is why he couldn't kick. So that's understandable. And I understand that, I think, for the duration of not only their careers, but I think this year, I think Lomax has the better percentage in terms of the goal kicking. But if we're on Origin and we've gone for 2 conversions and you've missed, pass the buck.
Yeah. Agreed.
I would have gone to Critter next.
You go Critter over Latrell?
Yeah, I would have gone Critter over Latrell.
Interesting.
The only reason for that is because I think Critter's a bit more consistent than Latrell.
Okay.
We saw on the weekend Latrell kicked, again, 2 from 5 and Rabbitohs lost by 1.
Yeah.
The most of the time that you get
and
Critter
Lomax kicked 6 from 6.
Yeah, and then Lomax kicked 6 from 6, that's right. And then when you look at Critter, Critter, he's kicked, he's missed a couple here and there, but they haven't been anything too ridiculous. He seems to be more consistent than Latrell. Yeah. So I would have shifted the goal kicking straight away. Yeah. But in the second half, Blues got a bit more momentum. But again, ill-disciplined, too many errors. Yeah. And when you have a first half like that, especially in State of Origin, it's hard to come back. It's really, really hard to come back. So
it would have been, wasn't it the biggest comeback? I believe they were saying on.
Yeah, it would have been the biggest comeback. Yeah. So really unfortunate that we couldn't get the job done.
Couldn't get the win.
Only promotes to game 3 in Sydney, which will be unreal.
Yeah.
But look, they have to get the selections right. Like Itoi Kamanu was not good. He has to go.
Yep.
You bring in Kaloa Matangi. Since he's moved to prop for Rabbitohs, he's been instrumental. You bring Terrell May. He's he'll play the whole game for you.
Yeah.
He'll do really well. But look, I thought Luai was played really well. I thought he was pretty sound. Obviously, he beat with discipline. Luai, yeah.
Apart from the first kick.
Apart from the first kick and the I think second half he started to play the way he would normally play and be that supportive role for Cleary. Because everyone was blowing up at the fact that Burden didn't get that 6 jumper.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think it was smart that Luai went into 6 and Burden stayed 18th man. But look, Blues need to really fix up. Like they can't have that first half again. You know.
So where did the Blues go for their halves for game 3? Cleary's obviously out.
He's not out yet. He's got a fitness test tomorrow.
Yeah.
For the Dogs game this week.
Yeah.
And then what will happen is, should he get through that, should he get through the game, he'll play. It's just he can't goal kick. He's very hampered with his goal kicking at the moment. So if they were to go down the route of having to pick a new 7, I've heard a few interesting takes. Everyone talks about Isaiah Katoa. You know, he's been unbelievable for the Dolphins this year. He's just been amazing. Cool. Yeah.
And Luke Metcalf, I've heard.
Yeah, they've talked about Metcalf. But the problem I have with those two players is that this is game 3 of the decider.
I think it was Gus. Gus said it. He goes, he has no doubt he could carry it, but he goes, I just don't think game 3 of the decider is the time to try.
That's right. And I don't think it's the time to try it either. I think I don't hate Gus's suggestion of Adam Reynolds. I
saw that today.
Yeah, I really don't hate that. I think he's an experienced campaigner. He's been in the big games. He can get the job done. I don't think they'll go down that route, but I don't hate that as a potential 7.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't put Burden there. You wouldn't put Luai there to be the 7. I don't think Luai for Origin to be the 7 is the way to go. So, look, we do have options. Obviously, with Moses being out as well, we do have options. But for 7, I just don't know if throwing Isaiah Katoa is the right thing to do. Throwing in there for a decider or even a Metcalf. I think he copped a groin issue or a calf issue on the weekend as well. So that he'd be hampered by that as well. But Blues have to be better. Yeah. We have to turn it around in that game 3. We can't be giving away too many penalties. We can't be dropping the ball as much as we did. And we have to be better in defence. Yeah. Much better.
Look, I know error count in that game. There was a lot of errors.
A lot of errors. I don't know off the top of my head if I'm honest with you. But we did make a lot of errors. We dropped a lot of ball, especially like when we were about to score as well. So we need to fix that. Once we get those fixed up, and we improve on our forwards, I think we can really shake up like Queensland. Like Queensland weren't amazing. They just took advantage of how bad we were.
Yeah.
And they were scoreless for 55 minutes of that game. Yeah. Or 45 minutes of that game. So they've got their own work to do as well. But look, but you got to give them the chocolates at the end of the day. They did really well. They got the job done. They hung on. And Blues have to be better, and we need to take it in the series because we can't lose to Queensland. No way. No. There's no way. But look, game 3 in a couple of weeks. I'm excited. In Sydney, we'll be in Queensland.
We'll be in Queensland, yeah.
Which is kind of ironic, but it is what it is.